story of a little elephant with a big heart and two very big ears.
Up as storks flew overhead. Each stork carried a tiny bundle that had a baby animal. Miss Jumbo sighed as she watched the happy mothers cuddling their babies. Oh dear, I did so hope there would be a bundle for me, she thought.
A stork flew into Mrs. Jumbo's railway car and dropped a large bundle. Inside was a baby elephant. Jumbo Jr. is what Mrs. Jumbo named him. Look at him, cried the other elephants excitedly. Isn't he darling?
Way through the town. The band played, the clowns and the animals marched down the street as the
See all the animals. Look at his ears, cried one noisy boy, pointing at Dumbo. They were the funniest things he'd ever seen. The boys laughed and teased Dumbo. Then one of them pulled the little elephant's ears.
Miss Jumbo trumpeted with anger. When she raised a hay bale to throw at the naughty boys, they ran away in terror. Down, down, cried the ringmaster, Dumbo.
Back in the tent, the other animals gossiped about Dumbo's mother. I think she went a bit too far, one said. It's all the fault of... They pointed to Dumbo, then turned their backs on him.
Nearby, a mouse called... Have I got an idea, he was saying. An enormous pyramid of pachyderms. Now comes the climax.
So, as soon as the ringmaster was asleep, Timothy crept into his tent. He scampered up to the ringmaster's ear and said, Who is your climax? Dumbo?
The next morning, the ringmaster tried out his new idea. He had all the elephants balanced carefully on top of one another, and Dumbo was to be the very top elephant, the star. But when Dumbo ran to jump on top of the other elephants, oh no, he tripped with his big ears and bumped into the pyramid. The elephants crashed to the ground, and the whole circus tent fell down around them. Bump, bump, bump.
Now the elephants were angrier than ever with Dumbo, but the ringmaster had another idea. Dumbo could become a clown. So Dumbo was dressed like a baby and put at the very top of a burning building. The other clowns pretended to be firefighters. They sprayed Dumbo with water and held a hoop for him to jump into. Poor Dumbo was terrified as he jumped. Down, down he dropped until he fell through the hoop.
But Dumbo was not happy at all. We're going over to see your mother, said Dumbo, put her trunk through the bars of her cage and cuddled her son, singing a lullaby, and dreamed.
The next morning, Timothy tried to convince Dumbo that he could fly just like a bird. He said Dumbo's ears were so big.
In the next show, Dumbo was once again with the clowns. They wanted him to leap from the burning. They said it was a magic feather that would help him fly. Holding it tight, Jumbo got ready to jump.
With the wind whistling past as they sped toward the ground, Timothy quickly told Dumbo that the magic feather wasn't real. He didn't need it. You can.
Dumbo took a deep breath and began to flap his ears as fast as he could. Suddenly, Dumbo was flying. He didn't need the feather after all. The ringmaster was amazed. He watched Dumbo swoop over the tub of goo and soar past the cheering crowds. Dumbo was a star.
Before long, Dumbo was famous all around the world, just as Timothy had said he would be. Crowds flocked to the circus to see Dumbo, the amazing flying elephant. The ringmaster released Dumbo's mother, very happy. The end.